taken great care of us through that transition. So I just want to say that. But the rest of what I have to say is not as bright and cheery. I am the CCFT union representative for CBAC, was the Community Budget Advisory Committee. I was genuinely dismayed to learn that Culver City Schools is currently in violation with the state because we have not spent the minimum amount required by the state in our classrooms. California requires that 55% of the district budget be spent in the classrooms. And we learned that over the past 4 years, the percent of our budget spent in the classrooms has steadily declined. And so, as I said, we're now in violation. What's interesting is over the past 4 years, we've been coming to these board meetings and saying that our district has been identified as being administratively heavy. And when I say that, I don't mean at the schools, I mean at the district office. So over the past 4 years, while we have been told by an outside agency that we have excessively large class sizes and underfunded programs like special ed, over those same past 4 years, we've added 6 district office positions. Yet our spending in the classroom has declined to a point where we are in violation. I would also like to mention something to the board that I reached out about. There are several teachers at Culver City High School that are not being paid on time or at all. We have reached out to the district office multiple times and have not gotten any response. And this is simply unacceptable. I also want to, I don't know my time, but I want to say that I agree with Ms. Amazola.
Thank you so much, Ms. Grasso.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Sanders?
It would be nice to be able to see a clock, but for those of you who were not at the...
Secondly, I want to talk about the continuing issues with pay. Ms. Grasso had alluded to it. It's not just Culver City High School. We're also currently dealing with situations at El Rincon and at La Bayona, and we've dealt with issues also throughout the year at Farragut, at Culver City Middle School, at Linwood Howe, at all of our sites. People are not getting paid on time, and they're getting a little bit frustrated by it. And what's probably going to happen is a lot of these people are just going to go ahead and start going right to the state and filing complaints with the labor board, with the labor department, because it's actually against the law not to pay people on time. There's actually a law around that about how quickly people have to be paid. And I believe it's 30 days. We have people that haven't been paid from last year, from the summer. They've reached out to the district and gotten no response. They reach out to their site reps and get no response. And then occasionally there'll be some response when I reach out. This shouldn't happen. The number one fundamental job of an employer is to pay their employees and pay them on time. And that is not happening in this district. This is a huge systematic problem that's actually been going on for quite a while now. And people are fed up and frustrated. I heard a parent say earlier about how they couldn't get a teacher to volunteer to be the student council rep. And I'm thinking maybe because teachers are so tired of having to hunt down their pay to do these extra duties. It's not only extra duties. We had several teachers who didn't get their regular paychecks in January. Imagine that, not getting your regular paycheck. This is a problem that has to be fixed. Third, I want to address the issue that was also brought up earlier, that our district is not spending enough money in the classroom. There is a minimum of 55% of the district's budget that has to be spent in the classroom, which is primarily salaries and benefits for teachers and aides that are in the classroom. We didn't meet that bare minimum, and that's shameful. What's even more shameful is we've been going down every year in this category where we're not spending enough on our teachers and our aides. So let's take a look since the 2019 staffing audit, what we've done and why we're dropping every year. So we have added at the district office a coordinator of school and family services since 2019, a CTE coordinator, an assistant superintendent of DEI, and all of those positions have support staff. At the last meeting, you increased the sustainability coordinator from part-time to full-time. Tonight on the agenda is the special projects director. We changed the director of SELPA to assistant superintendent of SELPA, which, by the way, we do pay 1/3 of. And we wonder why we got dinged. We're getting dinged right now for not spending enough money in the classroom. And it's squarely on the Board of Education, because ultimately you approve these measures. And when we talked about the sustainability coordinator last week or last meeting, only one board member said, this is not the answer. Sustainability is important, but maybe an administrator is not the answer to this. Only one board member said that. So this continues to happen. You continue to approve these new positions, and now we're going to be dinged by the state because we did not spend enough money in the classroom. Again, that's something that's unconscionable. It's outrageous. And I hope the community really holds you all accountable for that you're not doing that basic function. Why are we even shooting for the bare minimum? 55%? That's the minimum. And we should be aiming for much higher than that. Next, I wanted to talk about Culver Park. This has been brought up by several people, and I sent this email out as well. We did lower the graduation requirements at the last board meeting, and I fully understand the reasons behind that. I will say that we have closed down our continuation school. So students who might have been in that situation where they didn't have enough credits didn't even have that opportunity at a continuation school to make up credits. We also had our iAcademy, which was listed as full up until about 2 days ago when we finally hired another staff. How are we denying these students these opportunities like a continuation school, like iAcademy? And then the answer is just lower the graduation requirements. That's a disservice to our students. Now, I've asked several times for continuation school to be agendized at a board meeting, and it still has not shown up on agenda. And I'd like to know why. Thank you all for your comments.
Our middle and high school students who are chronically absent. Further, we reported last time that it was about 143 students. We were way off. We actually have 385 out of 2142 at the high school, and 182 out of 1592 at the middle school. And this is regarding absences for many, many reasons. So we know we have our work ahead. We know that differentiated assistance, that was a challenge for us. And we have, and not just a plan, we have a proactive next steps on how to support our students. So that's all I just want to say that we know there's intersectionality with our students who are chronically absent. These may be students may not be on track to graduate. We might need, I know we need mental health, increased mental health counseling. We may have housing or food insecurity, additional intervention into what we already offer. Students with an IEP or 504, the needs are great, but we have resources and we have the people in place to address the needs of our students. So thank you.
Dr. Smith, can you repeat those numbers?
Yes. 380. Let me make sure I have my number.
And this is chronically absent.
These are chronic. This is 10% of the school year.
Right.
385 students out of 2,142 at the high school, 182 out of 1,592 at the middle school.
Thank you.
Okay.
3 are CCUSD employee groups. And can we start with Miss Debbie Happy?
Thank you, Board President Amazola and board members. I have a few things that I'd like to address. Some of them have already been addressed by some of the previous speakers. I too am in support of reopening Culver Park. I was distressed to hear that we had 30 students who are not on track to graduate because they lack the appropriate credits. And I'm wondering why we didn't reopen Culver Park and make this support available to our students last year. It is troublesome to hear that nobody is tracking what's going on, and that our final solution is only to reduce the number of credits you need to graduate, rather than provide the support that these students have needed for quite a while. So again, I would urge the board to reconsider their thought that Culver City Continuation High School is not worthy of being reopened. We don't know whether or not there are more students that are going to be coming up that could take advantage of the types of services and support that they would get in our continuation school. So I would like the board to rethink their decision on that. I'd also like to point out that we are still severely understaffed throughout the district. We do have plenty of administration at the district level. We still lack appropriate instructional assistants in all of our classrooms. That's something that we have been asking for years for the district to fix. It has not been fixed. And we're also severely understaffed now in our maintenance, operation, and transportation department. We don't have enough staff to get the work done that needs to be done at the sites. As an example, I put in a paper order for Xerox paper at the beginning of this month, and we still don't have that delivery to El Rincon, where the teachers are coming to me daily to say we don't have any Xerox paper and they can't run off what they need to run off for their students. And I've had to get dribs and drabs of a carton here and a few cartons there because there isn't anybody available to put 30 cartons into a truck and drive it over to my school. And that's unconscionable. The teachers don't have what they need to do the work they need to do on a daily basis because we're understaffed at MOT, and we can't get paper deliveries, and we can't get soap dispensers fixed or replaced. It's absolutely unbelievable what's going on in this district, and the board seems to be entirely unaware of everything that's going on here and how bad we're suffering at the sites. My last questions would be about 10.3. This community workforce agreement is a 44-page document. I won't comment on it now. I'll wait until you get to that point of the agenda, but I'm hoping that there's going to be somebody that's going to be giving a very detailed explanation as to what this is and what it's meant to accomplish. Thank you.